It's not enough for us to know that we should be exercising to tone our bodies and improve our health. It seems that we need specific strategies to help us start an exercise program, but mostly to keep it going, because it's easy to start and it's hard to keep going. But clinical psychologist Dr. Tim Hope, you have some insight. Thank you very much for stopping by today. First, set specific manageable goals.
Right, so often what we do is we say, oh, geez, I need to get some exercise, which is a nice, big, overarching goal, but it really feels very vague, and it can be kind of hard to achieve that, as opposed to saying, well, you know, this week I'm going to start slow, I'm just going to exercise 3 times, 20 minutes a time.
Ramp up into it. And you also need to use reminders, because we're forgetful people. We're not going to remember on our own.
Right, so the things that you don't forget are the things that are in your schedule. So schedule exercise just like you would any other appointment, and you're much more likely to keep it.
We also want to have a reward system, but if it were me, I would reward myself with a nice Sunday. But we're not supposed to do that when it comes to exercise.
Yeah, right. And that can often go against one of our major goals, which is being more fit, more healthy overall. But you can do lots of other small little rewards. Get that book from the Kindle that you really have been eyeing. Go out to the movies and enjoy yourself. Get a pedicure, or a manicure, or a massage.
A little splurge, see that light at the end of the tunnel, because sometimes you don't see results necessarily if you're trying to work out for months and months. But if you see a trip to the movies or a pedicure or a manicure, you're more inclined to keep going.
That's right.
Next, buy a pair of workout shoes. Why not?
So you need to have the right equipment. And you don't have to have super expensive equipment, but you do have to have something that's going to work for you, that fits, that's comfortable. You don't want that to get in the way of your workout and lead you to have some kind of injury or pain, because that's really going to get in the way of exercise in the future.
The next thing that you want is what I call an accountability buddy. Find a buddy, a class, something that's going to hold you accountable.
So we human beings, we're social creatures. We like interacting with each other. We provide support to each other. We get support from other folks. And it just makes it a lot more fun to go exercise with somebody else.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's someone calling you, someone to have fun with, grab a drink afterwards, something like that. We also, though, and this is the mistake I run into every year, January 1st, I book it, and then I'm in pain until February. We need to start slowly.
So go low and go slow. Take your time. Don't go out and try and run that 5K on that first time. Go and walk for a mile, and then try and add it up to a second mile. Run for 100 yards every 400 yards. Just incrementally, slowly build yourself up.
Because the end date doesn't have to be 2 weeks from now. It could be a year from now that you're shooting to be physically healthy and active. So as long as you start slow, you'll get there, as long as you keep going and utilize these tips that we have.
That's right.
Another one is just walk. They say sitting's the new smoking, so getting up and doing anything is beneficial.
So many of our occupations now require us to sit for our job. So getting up at least once an hour, every half an hour, walk around the office, walk downstairs, go check the mail, go look outside, get a breath of fresh air, go to drink of water. Anything you can do to move your body, because our bodies are meant to move, will be better for you.
We actually had a segment on structural therapy and restorative exercises. Even if you're standing or sitting, just by varying the position in which you're sitting or standing is active movement, and it's better than nothing.
That's right.
Your next tip, get back to the basics.
Sure. So we don't need to go to a gym with highfalutin, big-time, expensive exercise
Exactly.
equipment. Lifting gallons of milk is just as good as lifting a dumbbell.
It's an 8-pound weight right there.
That's right. So anything that you can do to get yourself moving, and the simpler it is, the less likely you're going to find that to be a barrier to doing exercise, because you're going to have your sneakers in your car. You can easily get a jump rope and do some skipping of rope. You can pick up that gallon of milk.
It's true, and sometimes when you put all that pressure on yourself to go to a gym, it requires getting home from work, changing, putting those shoes on, driving somewhere, having to get assimilated there. It's a difficult process, but you're right. Just picking up a gallon of milk or walking to get the mail is something, and that's better than nothing.
That's right.
Next up, use multiple muscle groups.
So what that means is, as opposed to just doing squats, what if you do some curls while you're doing some squats? So you want to try and use as many muscle groups as you can in your body, because 1, it's more efficient, 2, encourages you to be more coordinated and working all those muscle groups, and 3, it's actually a much better workout. You burn more calories.
Lastly, use whatever gets you going.
So use whatever gets you going. So maybe you'd like to listen to an iPod. Maybe you actually prefer to exercise alone when you can get a few minutes by yourself without being interrupted. Watch a TV show or turn on the news. That's your way of staying connected. Whatever it is that feels inspiring to you, that feels fun to you, use that. That helps to keep you moving.
In your experiences as a psychologist, what's it like when people get moving? What kinds of mental changes do they see? What changes inside?
One of the most powerful interventions we can do for, say, depression is actually getting people up and moving. It is a powerful stimulant for the brain. It's a mood elevator. It just helps people feel better in all sorts of ways, and it's cheap.
It's true. You know what it is? I think it's a spiral in both directions. Laziness begets more laziness, begets more laziness, and then you feel like it's a pit that you can't come out of. Similarly, if you start exercising, it makes you want to do it more because you get that endorphin rush.
It becomes a positive cycle. We really want to build on that positive momentum because this is a lifelong habit that we want to create.
And something's better than nothing. Thank you
got
so
it.
much for stopping by
welcome.
today. You got me a little more motivated. I think I might do some curls right now. And for these tips and more, just visit us online, mymassappeal.com.